Industrial intelligence is moving one step ahead. Today, we are here at HANNOVER MESSE. We have Bettina from Agile Robotics. She is going to talk to us about what's new in humanoids and robotics for industrial applications. Bettina, thank you so much for interacting with OEM.
My pleasure.
From the pilot stage, how we can scale up to real industrial applications.
So we started in the year 2018. We are a spin-off of the German Institute of Aerospace. And our headquarters is in Munich, where we have our research center and also production. We have in Germany 1,000 people, worldwide 3,200 in Europe, in India, another very important market for us, in China and in the US. So Agile Robots is producing intelligent AI-driven robotics. We have robot arms for the application in industry and research of the data collection. We have mobile platforms, AGVs, AMRs, and our latest innovation, our humanoid Agile ONE, and we are very proud of it. So Agile ONE is made for industry. He works safely next to human beings. He can do interaction with humans, interactions with other robots. And what is special about Agile ONE is his very dexterous head. It's made out of 5 modular fingers, 21 joints, exactly like a human hand. The human hand has indeed 21 joints. And it has integrated tactile sensors. So it is possible for him to recognize components, parts. He can flip it in a very precise way. He can place it on certain platforms. He can pack it. So this already describes the application area. It will be mainly in material handling, in machine tending, tool use, or in logistics processes. So important for us, it's made for industry, it's produced in Germany, and we see it as a very important step towards physical AI in industry.
What are the major challenges you see in scaling up this and humanoid or robotic culture and so forth?
Yeah, I think we really need more openness towards innovation, new technologies. Maybe people also feel humanoids are a bit scary. Maybe this humanoid might take my workspace. But I always say the risk, if we do not go into the direction of physical AI in production, that you lose your workplace because you're not competitive anymore, is much bigger. Because why are we implementing physical AI in manufacturing? We want to make production more efficient, more flexible, and we want to be competitive. So don't get me wrong, you do need for every task in humanoid. We always have to see where does it make sense. There might be certain applications where a robot arm is much better, much smarter solution. And on our booth, you can see many applications like the gearbox assembly, for example. Also, we think production, usually you have a flat production floor. So what we are also developing, and we are very far here, is actually the upper body of the humanoid with the 2 arms, the prickers, and then you have a mobile platform. This is a much more efficient solution for pictures. So it is important that we can scale up those kinds of solutions, because in order to make your robot smart, you need data. Where do you get the most precise data? It's in the industrial application during manufacturing. This is also how we actually get our data. It's a combination of real data from our own production. It is data from teleoperation, which we do with our Franka arms, and it's data from simulation. So the more precise, the higher quality the data, the more precise are the actions in the field. And in order to get data, we have to scale, especially for smaller startups. It is important that they come out of this startup phase, this pilot project, into big projects and to complete integrated manufacturing lines, to learn, to get data, to adapt and to improve.
You mentioned about the importance of data that is collected, analyzed, as well as curated for the humanoids and robots. when you collect data, then it is, going to get gigabytes of data, huge data getting collected. And you may have video data, and you may have data which comes in images.
Yes, you have data through language, to language models, you have data through images, videos. That's right.
Not like that fit, the response time gets reduced. What kind of cloud facility you use?
And actually, we have our own software, we have for Agile Core. But for sure, we just announced it. We have a partnership with DeepMind. So the AI models, Gemini AI models, will be integrated into our hardware. And this is how we want to really develop the next stage of intelligent robots, which can be used in industry and can adapt to different scenarios. We also work very closely with NVIDIA, very important partner also for us. And for sure, what is very important, if you collect data, you need complete code. Yeah, of course, a lot of data has to be analyzed, has to be computed. So data center is something which is very, very important.
So are you going to provide the complete ecosystem for the consumer? So
yes.
It will be...
Yes, we do. So this is what makes Agile Robots really outstanding and differentiates us from other competitors. But besides the broad range of products, we also have enough hardware. So the embodiment, because when we talk about physical AI, it's nothing else than giving artificial intelligence a body. And this can be an arm, it can be a humanoid, it can be a mobile platform. So this embodiment interacts with the world. Then we have the software, which we say is the brain of the robot. And we have to make the brain smart, like a little kid which has to learn and be trained. And how do we train it? We train it with data. And here we have data farms where we collect the data, the teleoperation. And as mentioned before, we have the data from our own manufacturing sites, plus simulation and video experiments.
How do you see that, the curation happens in real time?
Yeah, personal safety is a very important aspect, and this is why certification of your product is very important. We need standards, we need norms where we have to follow. Important, I think, especially the case you described, I think it also is related to sensor technology. Like our Agile ONE, our humanoid, he has sensors integrated in his head. So he has the spatial awareness. So if a person or if another object is coming next to him, he knows this to stop. And I think, accidents happen everywhere. But just because we are afraid that there is the possibility of an accident, I don't think we could stop. We have to test it. Safety is a very important aspect, and we have to make sure that those automated lines or robots are safe. But accidents can happen, and I think we need to take some time.
That's really maybe this simility that but because that there is a risk factor, you cannot stay away from
exactly
engaging this in that one.
Yeah.
Well, you spoke about Chinese scenario. Yes, especially the industrial culture in China is quite distinct than Germany or India.
Yes.
And those cultures, to an extent, enable them to collect data as well as use data suitably for industry.
Exactly. This is their big advantage. I have lived more than 20 years in China. So the openness towards innovation, new technologies, new products, is incredible. And, I think many have seen those videos with these small dancing and jumping robots, and we are smiling about it, but actually that's pretty smart, because who is watching these videos? Small kids. So from child onwards, they are used to robots. So they are not scared. It's a part of their daily. It's sexy. And this is still what is missing here in Germany. And the next thing, what they do very smartly in China is scaling. Because they are so into innovation, even if a product maybe is not fully developed, 80-90%, they test it. Large scale, and everybody is open. And if you detect some problems, you get feedback from the users, and you just improve it very fast. And they are very good and very fast in improving. And this is something I think we should learn from. because data you get through application. So you need to scale. And this is what it means.
Talking about Indian scenario, in fact, today the Indian manufacturing practices are more traditional.
Yes.
The work rely on manual or human talent process.
We have also started now, opened our factory in Chennai, and we have an office in Bangalore. And why are we doing this? Because we see it as a huge market. And we have a lot of inquiries for Indian customers. Also, we see here a big openness towards innovation, automation of factories, because everybody sees this is the future. And in order to stay competitive on this global scale, we need to automate, we need smart factories. And we also published this, we have started a collaboration with 𝙗𝙗, because this is exactly what they want to do. They want to make their factories smart, and this is why they choose us as supply.
There is a serious lack of policies and frameworks with the
Yes.
What is your view?
Definitely, when we talk about physical AI, automation, you need the right frameworks. Yeah, because we talked about safety, data, security is definitely important. So we need a governance, but we also should not make it too complicated, too bureaucratic, because then, we are stopping ourselves. Unfortunately, especially here in Germany, we are tending, when we see a new development or innovation, the first thing is, what is the risk and how can we solve it with a regulation? And then we make a huge regulation, and especially small companies are totally overwhelmed, and it's very bureaucratic and it's very slow. So we need regulations, that's important. We need governance, but we should not stop us. We should stay pragmatic.
So you also see that there is a big wall to play for the industry.
Yes.
Because people like to get involved in the scene.
That is exactly what we need. Because if we just let politics do this, maybe it's too abstract, yet it's not pragmatic. So for me, it is important that politics, governments work with industry, because I think we know what we need, we know what makes sense, and if we work together, it's a very
So can you also talk a little bit about your kind of alliances and partnership that enable see the building, technology innovation?
Yeah. Actually, our biggest customers are in the consumer electronics and automotive industry. We have many pilot projects which we start with big automotive brands. As I mentioned, we just started a collaboration with Google 𝙗𝙗, that we are very proud. And what will 𝙗𝙗, very important partner for us, really.